so well that future generations won't even know it exists. The facility is still under construction, but when it's done, it'll be the first permanent solution for storing nuclear waste, assuming nobody finds a way to break in. The engineering behind this project is mind-blowing. They've designed the facility to survive ice ages, earthquakes, and even the evolution of human civilization. The entrance will be sealed with a series of 5-ton concrete plugs, each one designed to be impossible to remove without specific knowledge that will be intentionally lost to time. Scientists have even created a new type of concrete that gets stronger over thousands of years instead of degrading. The most fascinating part, they've had to consider scenarios we can barely imagine, like how to stop future archaeologists who might discover it accidentally, or what to do if humans evolve into a completely different species. They're even planning for the possibility that future civilizations might develop the technology we can't even conceive of yet. Pablo Escobar's mysterious Miami safe. When Christian de Bourdois bought Pablo Escobar's Miami Beach mansion, he probably didn't expect to find a 2-foot square safe weighing 700 pounds hidden under the foundation. This isn't just any safe. It belonged to the world's most notorious drug lord, and it's still locked tight. The demolition crew found it while tearing down the house, and everyone's going crazy trying to guess what's inside. Escobar was famous for stashing millions in cash and valuables in random places, inside walls, under garden soil, and even in coffee cans. Another safe was actually stolen from the property before it could be opened, triggering a police investigation that's still ongoing. The current safe is sitting in a bank vault while de Bourdois finishes building his new house. But the construction site is under 24/7 surveillance because who knows what other secrets might be buried there. The really wild part, de Bourdois paid $9.65 million for the property, but what's in that safe could be worth way more. The Forbidden Room 873. Canada's Banff Springs Hotel holds one of the creepiest sealed doors in North America. Room 873. The story goes that a family of 3 checked into this room and never checked out. The father completely lost it one night, murdered his wife and daughter, and then took his own life. The hotel cleaned up and tried to rent the room again, but things got weird fast. Every single guest reported waking up to terrifying screams in the middle of the night. Bloody handprints would appear on mirrors and walls, only to reappear minutes after being cleaned off. Eventually, the hotel had no choice. They sealed the room completely, removing the door and building a new wall. Today, if you walk down the 8th floor, you'll notice something odd. The room numbers jump from 871 to 875. Ask any staff member about it, and they'll literally refuse to speak. Some guests in neighboring rooms claim they still hear children's laughter and crying coming from inside the sealed room late at night. The twist is, the room doesn't even have a door for anybody to open it. Room 873, positioned on the 8th floor, cryptically went missing out of the blue. The door to room 873 was no longer visible. Instead, there was a huge wall in the middle of nowhere. Interestingly, when you knock on the wall, you'll realize that there resides some hole, giving you an idea of the existence of a door or an entire room at the rear of the cemented wall. The Hall of Records under the Sphinx. Picture this. Beneath the Great Sphinx of Giza lies a massive library containing the lost knowledge of Atlantis. At least that's what some researchers believe. The idea came from a psychic's vision in the 1940s, claiming there's a hall of records hidden behind a sealed door under the ancient monument. The world's top Egyptologists have mapped every inch of the Sphinx, searching for this legendary chamber. While they did find some underground passages and caves, the actual door to this supposed library remains elusive. Here's the twist. During one of these excavations, they discovered an entire forgotten city, but it was just the living quarters for the workers who built the Sphinx. The really intriguing part, ground-penetrating radar has detected a large, empty chamber exactly where the psychic said the door would be. But Egyptian authorities won't allow any excavation. Some say they're protecting priceless artifacts. Others think they're hiding evidence that would rewrite ancient history. Recent satellite imaging has revealed mysterious heat signatures coming from this area, suggesting the chamber might not be as empty as we think. Ancient Egyptian texts mention a house of knowledge containing scrolls from the time before the Great Flood, hidden beneath a sacred guardian. Several expedition teams have reported their equipment mysteriously failing when they get too close to certain areas under the Sphinx. The most compelling evidence, acoustic testing has shown that the rock beneath the Sphinx is hollow in a perfect rectangular pattern, exactly the dimensions of a large library chamber. Local legends speak of strange lights and ancient chanting heard around the monument during the full moon, especially near the suspected entrance. In 1997, a team of researchers using specialized seismic equipment detected what appeared to be a network of tunnels leading to a large chamber beneath the Sphinx's paws. Even more fascinating, they found evidence of a sophisticated ventilation system but still functioning after thousands of years. What's really mind-blowing is that the chamber seems to be perfectly preserved, sealed off from the outside world by technology we still don't fully understand. Could this be the legendary Hall of Records? And if so, what secrets about our past might it contain? The Frenchman. At first impression, Frenchman Island appears uninteresting. The island near the entrance to Whangarei Harbor is famed for its fishing and shark encounters. It is a tiny outcrop with a sprinkling of shrubs on its steep, rocky edge. However, when you approach the Frenchman, which is called after a French soldier's helmet, you will notice a bizarre gateway sealed with concrete, complete with rounded pillars and 3 concrete stairs. In 1864, Ngati Kahu surrendered the Frenchman and 8 other islands in Whangarei Harbor to Queen Victoria for £20 each. The island remains in Crown possession and is managed by the Northland Regional Council. The mysterious concrete door on Frenchman Island, located at the entrance to Whangarei Harbor, has sparked speculation about its purpose. According to an article by Stuff, the door is sealed with concrete and framed by rounded pillars with 3 steps at its feet. Rumors suggest the door was used to conceal explosives or was a wartime decoy. Some have linked the door to past smuggling in Whangarei Heads, where in the 19th century cargo like tobacco and whiskey was stowed away at nearby Smugglers Bay. A Frenchman associated with the smugglers lived inside the island, and if he saw the excise men nearby, he would light a smoky fire to alert lookouts above Smugglers Bay. But Whangarei Heads, local Lionel Sands was handed the key to the door's mystery 70 years ago as a 6-year-old by his father. Sands's father shared the secret with his son when he spoke of Sands's grandfather, Marmaduke Lionel Sands. Sands revealed, "I learned it wasn't a door to a secret cabin," he said. "There are no pirates, no villains, or anything like that. It's actually very boring." The Svalbard Doomsday Vault. Deep in the Arctic Circle, there's a facility with a set of doors designed to protect humanity's last hope for survival. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault, often called the Doomsday Vault, is basically Earth's backup drive for agriculture, holding over 1 million different seed samples from around the world. What makes this place truly remarkable isn't just what's inside, it's how it's protected. Built into the heart of a mountain on a remote Norwegian island, the vault doesn't even need electricity to keep the seeds frozen. The natural permafrost does that job. The entrance is engineered to survive nuclear war, asteroid impacts, and even rising sea levels. Each seed variety has 500 samples stored, making this the most diverse food crop collection in human history. The facility is designed like something out of a sci-fi movie, with multiple security layers that would make Fort Knox jealous. The main entrance features 3 vault doors, each with its own complex locking mechanism, requiring different authorization levels and biometric scans. The walls are reinforced with blast-proof concrete and steel, thick enough to withstand a direct hit from a nuclear missile. The security systems can detect intruders from miles away, using a combination of satellite monitoring and ground sensors buried deep in the permafrost. Inside, the vault maintains a constant negative 18 degrees Celsius, preserving the seeds for centuries. Even if all power fails, the permafrost keeps the temperature stable, and special reflective surfaces bounce away heat from the sun. The really fascinating part is a black box section containing seeds of plants that are now extinct in the wild, species that no longer exist anywhere else on Earth. Scientists have calculated that even if humans disappeared tomorrow, the vault's contents would remain viable for at least 2,000 years. The most mind-blowing detail, they're constantly adding new seeds. It's like a time capsule that keeps growing, preserving our agricultural heritage for whatever future might come. Hauska Castle Gate to Hell. A medieval fortress constructed in the middle of nowhere, with seemingly nothing to protect and no one to intimidate or impress. So, are these legends true? Was Hauska Castle built to defend a doorway into hell? Built in the 13th century, it was located in a remote part of the Czech Republic near the German border, kilometers from the nearest water supply, settlement, or trading route. There is no evidence that it was anyone's residence, or that it was strategically significant. So, why was it there? Some believe it had a supernaturally malevolent purpose, that the so-called Hell's Entrance Castle was built not to keep evil out, but in. There were legends of a bottomless hole with winged animals emerging from its depth. According to legend, the local duke, in order to quell any fears of supernatural events, arranged for a juvenile prisoner to be lowered into the hole. But the plunge was long, longer than anyone expected. Then there came an agonizing scream. When they hauled him up, the boy was 40 years old, and his hair had turned white. He was so horrified by what he had witnessed that he was admitted to an insane asylum. The Duke took action, and that step was to construct Hauska Castle exactly above the pit, to prevent the entrance to whatever was beneath. It was completed in 1278, and that was only the beginning. A chapel was built immediately over the Hauska Castle pit, believing that God's power was the strongest defense against the dark unknown. In truth, it was dedicated to the Archangel Michael, who is thought to have led God's army against Lucifer's fallen angels. The chapel itself is notable for its numerous references to Satan and paganism. For example, a left-handed half-woman, half-horse figure was shown when left-handedness was thought to be a sign of the devil. Around the 1630s, the castle was thought to be possessed by a Swedish black magic practitioner named Oronto. It was reported he worked night and day to find an elixir of eternal life. However, the locals were so terrified of him the two hunters broke into the castle and killed him. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned.